I know you were all probably waiting for this, and of course we are trying it here on MixBus TV, the new Waves SSL 4000 channel EV2. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBus TV. Hope you're having a great day. Before we start, please check the info box down below for more mixing courses on ProMix Academy, free plugin special discounts and offers, and of course links to the new SSL 4000 EV2 by Waves. And if you haven't already, do me a favor and go watch my artist's latest single video, Heartbreak Motel. You can also win an interface by sharing it. Link is gonna be in the info box down below. And if you wanna support the channel, but most important, if you really wanna learn how to mix and master professionally, click the join button down here, become a MixBus TV member and access the already big and always growing library of full mixing courses, start to finish, mastering courses, special videos, and a lot more. You also get mix consultations with me via Skype or email. All right, first of all, this is not a GUI update. This is a complete remodel of the SSL 4000 channel. When Waves partnered up with Solid State Logic and released the first SSL GNE channels in 2006, and that plugin became a go-to, a staple in every studio. I myself started every mix with the SSL G channel. But that was the best modeling that could be done at the time. The new Waves SSL is a complete remodeling of the SSL channel with the technologies that we have today. At a first glance, aside from the slightly rearranged GUI, we have two main new functions. The first one is a mic line input that introduces subtle harmonic distortion, and you can turn that off completely, making this channel completely clean by toggling the analog button. Keep in mind that the saturation and the harmonic distortion introduced by this channel is extremely subtle, and that's how it's supposed to be. The harmonic distortion is cumulative across all the channels, otherwise it would be too much very quickly. In the input section, we have two knobs, a line input, -20 and +20, and a mic input up to 50 dB of gain. The second new and very welcome feature is the EQ type. Now, along with the black knob, we had the famous brown knob, and you can see it changes the color here in the lower band. We're gonna hear it in action in a second, but just in case you're not familiar with the brown knob and the black knob, the black knob is a much more focused and narrow kind of EQ, while the brown knob is a more gentle, larger Q and musical equalizer. Before start running audio through it, I want to show you visually the differences between those two curves with Plugin Doctor. This is the black knob EQ engaged. You can see it's completely linear. And if I switch to the brown knob, you can see the curve slightly changes. There's a slight dip here and a little bit of boost, shelf boost like that, because the circuit of the brown knob was different. So let me switch to bell and let's go around 50 here. And I'm gonna do a boost with the brown knob. All right, and you can see the shape of the bell. If I change to black EQ, there you go, a much narrower, more focused low end, okay? This is a big difference, and it's a big difference in sound. You will hear it in a minute. If I switch to shelf mode, same thing. You can see it's a completely different shape of your shelf. I thought this was pretty interesting to show before actually running audio through it for those who are not familiar and not too technical, okay? And here's the harmonic analysis of it. You can see with the analog engaged, you can see all the added harmonic. And if I disengage, it's completely clean, all right? And this changes, you can see if I move the gain, all right, the harmonics change. So it's based on level, all right? I thought this was pretty interesting. Let's start running audio through this. So I have this song here, not many tracks, but all real instrument, real drums, real bass, real guitars, real piano, real everything. I put one instance of the new SSL with the analog on to show you how subtle is the saturation and the harmonic distortion on it. You can see it's you can see I have one instance for every channel here on all these purple tracks, okay? So I'm gonna unbypass them all and then activate them. Okay, very subtle as we said before, but remember, if you want to push it, you can use the pad and drive the input. Let's start tweaking this track. We start from the kick. Okay, so in this case, you hear how different the sound of the black knob and the brown knob is. For this kick drum, I much prefer the black. It's more focused. It keeps the low end tight, yet powerful. And I want you to notice something. If you notice, as soon as I went to touch the filters, I pressed the split button. One of the coolest thing about the SSL channel, and not just the plugin, the console as well, is the routing. That's one of the biggest, most powerful feature of the SSL. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about all the different options for routing and how much it changes the plugin and your workflow when you know them, because maybe they don't have experience with the real SSL. So the signal path in default mode without the split on sees the dynamic first, so compression and gate, then the filters, then the EQ last. I personally don't like the default routing, and the first thing that I do when I open a channel is press split button. The split puts the filters first, and then you have the dynamic, and then you have the equalizer. But then if you press channel out here, you invert the EQ and the compressor, and so you have filters, then EQ and compressor last. Pick the one that you like the best. You also have the dynamic sidechain button here, which basically turns the equalizer into an internal equalizer for the compressor. You can use it as a de-esser, you can use to control specific frequencies. It's very, very useful, but you lose the EQ on the output. So spend some time understanding all the different options for routing, because those are amazing. Anyway, let's go back to our kick. In this case, the black EQ wins against the brown. All right, you hear even with the level matched, we have more punch, more aggression, this nice tight focused low end, and this nice top end that helps the kick cut through the mix. Let's go to the snare. Filter a little bit of compression, we remove some boxiness. This top end, which is, by the way, one of the biggest improvement from the previous one, is the top band in the equalizer. This new one is so much smoother. I really, really like it. While in the previous one, and you know, if you follow me, I used to use the G channel with the multiplier in the high mid band to boost the top end, as opposed to the higher band, because I wasn't a big fan of it. Everything else was amazing, but this is a big improvement. The top end on this one is smooth and it sounds really good. In this case, the brown knob, I liked it better to add a little bit of warmth to the snare. And here we go with the overhead. All right, as you can see here in the stereo version of the plugin, you also have a stereo width control. Standard, which is full stereo, mono in the 12 o'clock position, and reverse stereo. And then you have an extra wide button that does put the sounds out of your speakers, but it does it at the expenses of mono compatibility, so be careful with that. You also have a filter to keep the frequencies, I think, below 200, not stereo enhanced. But it's cool to have it there for a quick control, for a quick readjustment on stereo tracks. All right, let's go to the next, and let's go to the bass. Again, I prefer the black EQ on this one. It keeps my low end focus for a rock track like this. I still prefer it. Let's do a quick level. Again, the brown EQ here is really nice to have this very organic warmth to the sound. I really love this new top end. Even if I crank it to find the sweet spot, it really doesn't get a brush or anything. Let's keep going with the electric guitar. All right, acoustic guitar. Another thing that I really like about this plugin, I want to mention, and I want to solo you this acoustic guitar, are the filters, which are, again, a lot smoother and more musical than the previous one, which I still like. But listen to this guitar, especially the low pass filter. Very, very smooth. I really, really like it. Let's go on. Not much to do here, so we'll just leave it at there. We have lead vocal. Let's open the effects.
I know the seasons right for change. It's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged. It's tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life? I know the seasons right for change. It's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged. It's tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I've left in me. I'm alright, being away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, putting back in order. I know I will always have this too, a little piece of you. I know the seasons right for change. It's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged. They're tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I've left in me. I'm alright, being away from you, and I'll be fine.
Quick test with and without on every channel.
I know the seasons right for change. It's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged. They're tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I've left in me. I'm alright, being away from you, and I'll be fine.
All right, this was just a quick 2-minute rough mix to test the plugin and show you the new features, what it can do, the routing, and here the new modeling in action. This is a plugin that you can literally slap on every channel. Actually, this is what I've been doing since the SSL channel have been available. So I think this is it for the video. The link to the new Waves SSL 4000 EV2 is gonna be in the info box down below. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like and share. Check all the links in the info box down below, the new video on my artist Bella Kelly and how to win an interface by sharing it. Click the join button, become a MixBus TV member if you really want to up your mix and mastering game. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.